Shamil the Blob Gajiev. Alright, man, let's talk about it. Aaron Pico. Yeah, that Aaron Pico. The Bellator Golden Boy. The next big thing since, 2017. And now he's officially landed in the UFC. And look, I'm not gonna lie, I've got mixed feelings about it. So the moment I saw the announcement that he was not only coming to the UFC, but also getting a title eliminator in his debut against Movsar Evloev, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, straight up. I had to blink a few times, all animated and shit, and make sure I wasn't just seeing things. I had to put on my glasses. Now, hear me out. I'm not here to hate on Pico. The guy is talented. No question about that, okay? World-class wrestling pedigree. He's got hands, trains at a legit camp, and all the tools are there, okay? But jumping the line and getting a #1 contender fight in your first UFC scrap, to me that's wild, especially a guy against Movsar, who's been grinding, undefeated in the UFC, taking on tough fights within the UFC system. I mean, come on. What message does it send to all the dudes who've been clawing their way up to the featherweight rankings? The ones that are fighting killers after killers just to make a sniff at a co-main event. It just doesn't sit right with me. And to be honest, I'm actually kind of glad that this fight fell through. Not because I didn't want to see it eventually. I think it would have been dope. It sounds like a fun matchup stylistically, but let's be real. That booking felt like the UFC is playing hot potato with hype, trying to strike gold. And again, I'm not trying to downplay Pico's resume at all. The guy's got freakish power, and his wrestling looks elite, to be honest. But come on, let's also keep it a buck, okay? His career in Bellator wasn't spotless. He had to go through growing pains. He got flatlined a couple times, fell in love with his hands too early, and only recently started to figure things out. That's fine. That's part of the journey. But does that journey really earn you a title eliminator in the UFC? Nah, I don't think so. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that he's here. I like to see new blood, especially dudes coming to throw down. But if we're going to be fair and realistic and give him someone ranked, sure, give him a test. But skipping the line straight into a win and you fight for a belt type of deal, nah, that ain't it. So yeah, man, I'm intrigued, I'm excited, but I'm also watching closely because if this turns into another hype job with favoritism sprinkled on top, it's gonna leave a sour taste. Let the man earn it the right way, not because he's got a cool highlight reel or came from a rival promotion. So that's why I was pretty glad when he was announced to fight Lerone Murphy, because it's not a title eliminator. Now, don't get me wrong, if Aaron Pico wins, he will be in the top 5, which, I mean, screw it. I would be okay with that at that point. But let's actually start talking about how good Pico is. Because as much as I'm side-eyeing the UFC for tossing him into the deep end right away, I'm not going to sit here and act like the dude can't fight either. Pico's legit, dude. Like, for reals, his wrestling credentials speak for themselves. We're talking almost Olympic-level freestyle. And then you pair that up with the hands that this dude has. It's freaking wild. He's not just a meathead wrestler, who's shooting doubles all day. The guy's out here melting people with overhands, ripping body shots like he's trying to punch a hole through your liver. And there's a reason why he's built up this rep in Bellator. When he's locked in, it's kind of scary. But, and this is my big but, I'm not about to get my hopes sky high either. Why? Because we've seen how this Bellator to UFC things plays out sometimes. Just look at Pitbull and Patchy Mix for perfect examples. They were supposed to be Bellator moments, and what happened? Patchy went out there, couldn't get going. Pitbull's got a decision over Danige, sure, but the performance didn't exactly set the world on fire. It felt more like a don't lose fight than a make a statement one. You know what I mean? And that's where the caution comes in, dude. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Pico's style way more than Pitbull or Mix. Now, don't get me wrong, he brings that kind of energy that fans actually want to see. He presses forward, he doesn't stall, and he doesn't fight like he's trying to just survive a test run. He shows up to make a statement, and whether he wins or loses, you're gonna feel something watching him fight. Now, if we're talking about what makes Aaron Pico dangerous, like truly dangerous, it's the fact that that dude doesn't fight like a guy with one trick. He's not just some wrestler who learned how to throw hands, he's a full-on weapon. I mean, let's start with the obvious, that pressure. Pico doesn't fight on the back foot. He's consistently marching forward, dipping his head, giving you that level change threat, keeping you guessing. You never really know if he's about to shoot a double leg or rip a hook to the body, and that's a problem. It's that low stance, that wrestler posture, but with the boxing mechanics behind it. Most dudes don't know what to do with that. And bro, those body shots. I'm telling you, man, when he throws them, he throws them like he hates organs. It's not just volume either, it's intent. When he rips to the body, he's trying to change your whole breathing pattern. And once you start reacting to those hands, that's when the takedowns come in. And if he gets you to the mat, you're in for a long, violent ride because his top control is nasty. I don't even mean jiu-jitsu wise. He's not out here hunting submissions or playing for position like a pure grappler. Nah, he's trying to smash. It's like folk style mindset, ride time, mat return, break your posture, and drown you with elbows. You get taken down once, you're not getting up without paying a toll. What I like about this newer version of Pico is that he started showing patience. He's not exactly frantic. He's not rushing to every exchange or swinging like a backyard brawl. There's more structure to his pressure now. He's thinking while he's hunting, and to me that's dangerous. So yeah, man, when Pico is on, he's serious. He's a serious problem. He's got physical tools, the athleticism, and now he's starting to match it with better decision making. Still not perfect, but you could tell he's leveling up. But like we always say in MMA, it ain't just about what you bring to the table. It's how you handle the fire when your game plan ain't working. And that's where some of the questions still pop up for me. Like, look, dude, this is exactly why I've got such mixed feelings on this. Like, on one hand, Aaron Pico's style looks like it should translate perfect. It's entertaining, it's aggressive, it's pressure heavy. That's the type of fighter fans want to see in the UFC. He's got that whole just show me and make it violent energy, you know? That makes you want to believe. But man, I can't help but to have my doubts in the same time. Because yeah, he's been starching guys lately. He's on a little streak right now, but who's exactly has he been knocking out? You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect to the guys in Bellator, but sometimes it feels like he's in there cracking dudes with like these wacky ass names like Joe the Plotty Man Mailman or the Bob the Regional Circus Demolition Man. You line up a few finishes with that, and yeah, it looks great on paper, but we still haven't seen what he looks like in this environment. This is the UFC. This is where the best of the best show up. And look, man, I'm not saying that he's not legit. The dude clearly has hands, but if we're gonna keep it real, he's still hittable, like very hittable. His head movement is kind of basic. He kind of keeps his chin up while he's exiting exchanges, and he still hasn't really shown that he can really make adjustments mid-fight. He's one of those guys where if plan A isn't working, you better start hoping that plan A starts working again real fast. There's not a lot of layers to that guy yet. And don't get me even started on his gas tank. We've seen moments even in Bellator where he starts strong but fades hard if he doesn't get the early finish. That high energy explosive style, it burns hot, but it burns fast. In the UFC, you get guys who take that first round fire and drown you in the second and third. So yeah, he's got promise, but until we see him tested, really tested, I'm still pumping the brakes on the hype train. And this is where every fight is a test, you know? And that's my whole thing. I just don't know if this guy we've been seeing is the real deal, or he's been eating off matchups that he was supposed to win. We haven't seen him under the bright lights of the UFC cage with a guy across from him who isn't scared of his wrestling, who can read his punches, who can drag him into a second or third round and say, nah, you're not blowing me out. Because we've seen this story before, man. Michael Chandler came in with the same accolades, or actually better accolades than Pico, former Bellator champ, proven name, highlight reel knockouts, explosive as hell, and he only managed to win 2 fights in his UFC and lost 5 of his fights. And Chandler is good. He gave us some wars, but the margin for error here is razor thin. One misread, one bad exchange, one moment of overconfidence. That's the difference between a career-defining win and another almost story, okay? So yeah, maybe Pico style does translate. Maybe he is that dude. But until I see him do it here, in the Shark Tank, I gotta keep my expectations in check. I'm not crowning anybody off Bellator footage. I've watched this game too long to fall for that again. So like I mentioned earlier, his first matchup is against Lerone Murphy, and who potentially wins this matchup? Man, I might regret saying this. I really might, but I'm leaning Aaron Pico. And yeah, I know that might be a hot take. I know I just spent the last 5 minutes airing out all of my doubts and red flags like I'm on an MMA version of Dr. Phil. But still, I can't shake this feeling that Pico's pressure, his pace, and the way this is only 3 rounds, it favors him. Like, if there was ever a scenario where his style shines, it's probably this one. A shorter fight, fast start, chance to overwhelm a guy before he can start slipping and countering and doing all his slick stuff that Lerone Murphy does. But bro, if he blows this, if Pico comes in here and gets jabbed up for 3 rounds or ducks into something clean or wrestle spams himself into exhaustion and just fades, that's it, I'm done. This will officially be the last time I pick a Bellator guy or PFL dude coming into the UFC. I'm retiring from the hype crossover league, okay? Like, I will never fall for that again. Like, nah, bro, he's different, Trap. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 5 times, I'm watching tape with my eyes closed. Because we've seen this movie, and lately, it's been straight to DVD energy, you know? Patchy Mix fumbled, Pitbull, mid, MVP, he's good, weird, you know, he's the one exception, has no wrestling defense. But I've burned too many times, man. But Pico, I don't know. Something about this one. It just feels a little different. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm sipping that Bellator Kool-Aid, but I'm rolling the dice. One last ride. So give me Pico by a late second round TKO, ground and pound. But trust me, if this goes south, I'm taking Murphy next time, and I'm shaving Pico's name off my whiteboard of fighters to believe in, okay? But what do you guys think? How good do you guys think Aaron Pico will do in the UFC? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, guys, I'll see you guys on my next one.